Ian.
Hello, sorry, I was yawning there. That was really bad, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Must be the budget that I've been working on. Sends me to sleep. Now, the webinar that you did with our friend Jonathan Martin from Macquarie on cyber crime is going to be up available on the website tomorrow, and you were pretty damn excited about that.
Yeah, I am. I asked the team to pursue that relentlessly to get the consent button so we could actually get it up there. On all of our webinars, Leanne, I think we select people very, very carefully, and I'm pleased with the quality of the stuff we're delivering. But this one is something that is emerging constantly, and it is something I think everybody needs to watch. It is. I can say a little bit frightening, but there's some good tips in there about how you can protect yourself, and it is certainly something I think everyone needs to see.
Yeah, and in relation to the quality of our webinars, we've got one on 9:30 on Friday morning, which is with Treasury, and we're going to be talking about the stamp duty, proposed stamp duty reform.
Correct. So we'll try and get some clarity around what all of that means.
And the other thing, as well as getting the clarity, it's really important that people remember that we're in the consultation period right now. So if they've got points to make, for example, I was with our very good friend John Cunningham earlier today, and he said, you know, they're trying to get empty nesters to downsize, but why would anybody decide to move if it means that they've got to pay an ongoing tax?
Yeah.
So it's going to be counterintuitive in that space. So now's the time to make all of those questions, raise all of those concerns.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So as you said, we got through until March to do it. But it's interesting what's happened in Victoria, isn't it, to what's happened here? They've actually done something with stamp duty, and what we've had is a lot of talk. So nothing has happened in our space, which I think is disappointing. But as you rightly point out, we've got till March to do something about it. But there's been some really interesting analysis already online about all of this and about how you could deal with it. One I particularly liked, where somebody said, if I borrow the money and pay the stamp duty and pay the current interest rate, it'll take me X number of years to do it, then I'm free. Whereas if I don't pay it and pay the land tax, or the property tax.
It really comes down to whether you're planning on staying long term or not, right? If you're only planning on staying for a few years, then it's okay. But if you're planning on staying long term, it's a problem.
Yeah. So one of the other questions I think we'll ask our friends I'm reading this from the Property Council, and they say it's pleasing, I and a number of other Property Council members have been appointed to work closely with New South Wales Treasury Tax Reform Task Force, etc. So I don't know whether or not that is overstating what's gone on with what we talked about the other day, but be a question we'll find out on Friday.
But certainly.
But that sounds like a lot of yes men going in there, doesn't it? Because they're the big winners.
Absolutely. And I thought it was interesting. The Treasury were making a really strong point about the fact that it's good for real estate agents, so we should be supporting it. You'll get more transactions, so real estate agents should be supporting it. And of course, we're all for more transactions, but one of the issues that we have identified previously is empty nesters and downsizers holding onto their properties, and this will not change that problem.
Well, that's exactly right. And when they said that he's going to get more transactions, we said, fantastic. Can I have a look at the Economist report?
Yes.
And I said, no. So, I mean, I'm all over more transactions as you are, but I mean, where's the evidence?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Now, the public health order for auction rooms. Talk to me about that in a language that we will all understand, please.
Okay.
Not Latin. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna walk it through. So the public health order came out, and it said that you have to have electronic recording. So in other words, no touch recording for people in an auction room. So this, our friends Damien Cooley and Jesse. All right, in there. Right. But that's it. Yeah. However, Fair Trading have taken the view that it goes beyond that, and it goes to when you're having an auction on site to be outside, or opens, open homes, and also at sale yards. So we're trying to get some clarity as to whether or not we have to take the names of the sheep that are there, but we'll come back to you. But you have to do that. Now, why has Fair Trading done that? Well, they've done it because they've put it into the standard COVID safety plan. Yeah. So if you use the standard COVID safety plan, even though the health order doesn't require it, in there you will be using it. So that's the reason that we went out a few days ago, and for that matter, last week, and we said to everybody, you do need to do this. You do need to do it. Have an electronic record of the people who are attending here. Okay. Now the next big question was whether or not you needed a QR code. And that kind of frightened me, because you remember the fun we had when we went to government to try and sign in QR code.
But other QR code, I use QR codes nearly every day, and that's the only time I've had a problem like that.
Yeah, I know, but this is a government idea, so we don't know which way.
The long and short of it, Fair Trading are out and about checking COVID safety plans. So the safest thing to do is to use the QR codes. Is that?
No, the safest thing, what you have to do is have an electronic copy of, so you could stand there with your...
Oh, and then so you could enter it yourself.
Yeah, just stand there and do that, and you've got it in. Now, now, a fun fact.
Okay.
Now this, don't say you're being a lawyer, because I didn't make the rules, but when you record, so I write down, yes, Leanne Pilkington's just turned up here, and she's coming to have a look at 10 Smith Street. Yes, got all that. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. I've got it in there electronically. I can show you. Yeah. That's great. But when you've taken that information and you've put it into your electronic device as you are required, you cannot use that information for any other purpose than that. You know how when you go to the restaurants and they say, hey, do you want us to endlessly send you marketing material, and you never tick yes? Well, in here, because you've collected that information for the purpose of COVID, you then can't use that information to go and contact those people for all the other reasons that we would. So you need to have 2 lists.
You need to, sorry, what?
Well, you need to have 2 lists.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's just stupid. Sort it out, will you? Honestly, how did you let something like that happen? Just get it fixed. Okay, so processing times for licenses and certificates and all that stuff.
Oh, I know we have turned the flame up there, I can tell you. So when you go and apply for your certificate, it'll only take 17 days now. Okay. For it to get to, it's business days, for Fair Trading to analyse the 4 documents that come with it. Okay. And to provide you with your certificate of registration, and you can start work. For a corporation licence, it takes 45 days, a Class 1 licence, 54 days, and a Class 2 licence, 32 days. So for those fun people out there who are applying for their Class 2 and then want to migrate to their Class 1, you probably need to think about another career.
How many times do I need to speak to you about your attitude?
Once more than you have so far.
Oh dear. Now also refunds. You want to know where people are up to with that?
We're supposed to be getting refunds, as you know. So if you paid for your Class 2, applied successfully for your Class 1, well, firstly, you're in an interesting group if you've been able to achieve that. But you should be getting back a refund of the Class 2 fees. Which, as you know, we jointly push very hard for. So we're pleased that ultimately we're getting that. So that's a great result. But still, until we've got the money in our bank, we're not going to count it as a success.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okie dokie. Now we've got a new page on our website, which is very exciting, called My Benefits. What's that all about?
Yeah. So look, it's over the years, I think we haven't done a great job of making people aware of all of those things that they can get on the periphery of their membership.
Yeah.
And so our marketing team has taken that on as a project, and I do thank them for that. But there's things in there that, to be honest with you, I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't know was available. So if I didn't know, then I'm sure some of our members didn't know. So,
totally, yeah.
So we have a corporate deal for Qantas Club. How enthusiastic everybody would be about that right now, I don't know. But we have a corporate deal, so you get a discount. Tesla is a new one we've got on there. We got a really good deal with that.
That's great.
In fact, I sent it to my wife and said, "Well,
Time in your car."
Yeah, well, she's one of those environmentalists and all of that sort of stuff. So I said, well, we should walk the walk. We're going to talk the talk and stop.
Well, she won't even wear leather shoes. I mean, hello.
That's a good point. Yeah, but it saves me a fortune in shoes and handbags.
True.
Mercedes, we have a similar sort of deal. Office Works. There's people done some calculations on the deal that's there, and I'd encourage everybody to have a look at this, because if you take that deal and you're an average office, that will pay for your membership of the institute.
Yeah, it's really significant.
It is big, yeah. And we also have some data there, and Audi is also there, and Lexus. Yeah. So there's 4 cars there to pick from.
Yeah.
With the deal, and there's also a list of other things in there. I've picked out the big stuff.
And the other thing is it links to everything else. So links to vacancy rates, links to forms, links to webinars, training, all of that stuff. You can find everything you need, because there's so much information on the website, it does start to get hard. So that's awesome. Well done.
Yeah,
marketing team.
I bought my Merc through this deal, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it was a very good deal. It was in fact, we've had people join the institute
just to get it.
Just to get the deal. Yeah.
Got to be happy with that.
Yeah. Annoyingly, people who aren't members hear about it and join, but people who are members aren't aware of it. And so we'll try and drive that out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And generate some value.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we've had lots of calls into the helpline, people not getting emails about updates. We need to let everybody know, if you are an employee of a member, you actually need to opt in to get the emails, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And this is a challenge we've had constantly. Is what we're saying to people: opt in. Membership at an individual level is free. Okay. So if you work for a member firm, you can become a member of the institute in your own name free. Now, what we see all too often is we send out property management information, and it goes out to the principal, who is a salesperson, looks at it and says, delete, that's boring. Whereas, and then people say, we haven't sent anything out on it. So it's a challenge for us and a challenge within the office. So the way to get around it is sign yourself into membership.
Yep.
It's painless. It's on the website, and then you can nominate your area of practice, and then we will only send you material that is relevant to, let's say, property management.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good advice. Also, I need to remind everybody that the trust audit, they extended the trust audit this year. It's 31st of December. Just what you want to be doing on New Year's Eve is your trust audit. So get onto it before Christmas, people, if you haven't already.
Yeah. Whilst it was good to get an extension, if like when you went to school, if people got an extension, you still didn't do the homework until the night before. So 31st of December is not the time to be doing the homework.
No, absolutely. And you're doing you've been doing a briefing to media every week called The Real Week Ahead. And basically it's just a bit of a summary of the important points that are happening in the industry and in the market. And you're going to start sending that out to our members every week now, including a video from you without me to try and keep you on track. So I'm going to be interested to see how long those videos run.
Yeah, I've got a funny feeling a lot of that will end up on the cutting floor, but yeah.
Maybe.
But it's going to be doing that. Just about the sorts of things that are happening in the week. So this week, for example, we talked about the interest rates, the Reserve Bank, and that sort of thing for the week.
Other cool things. Yeah, no, there's some interesting things in there for sure. Did you want to say anything about the interest rates or the market performance? Because it's been an interesting week, right?
Well, it has. Now, as you would know from your reading, as I do, of the minutes that came out from the Reserve Bank's meeting. So when you read the minutes, have you read the minutes of the Reserve Bank meeting?
Not this one this week, no.
Okay, well, if you did, you would know that the Reserve Bank said that they are not going to put up rates. They don't anticipate, at least, putting up rates for 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years. So what does that tell us? That means money is going to be cheap for the foreseeable future. So that's good. That's good for, obviously, the economy broadly. That's the reason they're doing it. But also, obviously, our industry, the property industry, being able to, allow people to fund debt and fund it very cheaply. So that'll be good.
Absolutely.
And whilst we're on that, the market, Leanne, has done really well, hasn't it? I was looking at some numbers a couple of days ago now, and I think it was on Monday, and it's everybody was saying it's going to fall, it's going to be 30% crashes and all this sort of rubbish.
Yeah.
The property market, the median house price in Sydney has gone up, and out in the regional areas, even more so because people have been moving out there. Yeah,
we just can't get enough stock. The same old story, right? Now you were part of an expert panel today.
Yeah, well, I can't say too much about that, but I can say that because it was convened by the Minister and Fair Trading, and there's still things being put together, but I can say that the Minister is interested in getting a group of people together from industry to advise government on things affecting the market, affecting agency practice. But it's an eclectic and group of people that have come together. So we will see later on exactly what this is going to look like.
Yeah, cool. All right. Anything else you wanted to raise?
Let me check. One more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. Commercial leases. So I'm aware that the commercial, we talked about that the commercial lease is going to be extended. So it's retail and commercial leases, the moratorium going to be extended through. That was also in the budget, et cetera, et cetera. So the question was, when are we going to see that? And I'm anticipating seeing that, over the next couple of weeks. So once we know that, we'll be able to get some information on that. And so obviously for our commercial agents out there, stay tuned. As soon as I've got it, I'll give it to you.
Okay, beautiful. All right, that's it from me.
And that's it from me.
Fantastic, good to see you.
So I'll see you on Friday with Treasury.
Yeah, absolutely. See you then.
See you. Thanks, Leanne.